In this hour, we speak to the South African Weather Services about the tornado that hit parts of KwaZulu-Natal yesterday. We also find out if there are any more heavy rains expected on the way. Of course, those stories and more coming up. Getting straight into the top. Tornado ripped through New Hanover in KwaZulu-Natal. Several disaster management teams have been dispatched to assist with the trail of destruction left behind. Authorities have confirmed that scores of people have been injured and homes and public infrastructure have been damaged. Houses have collapsed, trees have been uprooted, and the electricity supply in the area has been interrupted. Residents have been urged to stay vigilant as the risk of heavy rains and severe thunderstorms continues to pose a serious danger to those living in the province. Now, to expand a little bit on this and hear if there's any cause for worry of more extreme weather conditions, I'm joined in studio now by Jacqueline Modika, forecaster at the South African Weather Service. Jacqueline, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, and good morning to all your viewers.
This tornado has really left a devastating impact, affecting ordinary lives. How did this happen?
Well, basically, the country was dominated by what we call a cutoff flow system. And this is a synoptical system, which is a very big system, and it affects like a huge area or most parts of the country. So it had its effect over KwaZulu-Natal, parts of the Northwest Province, Limpopo, Mpumalanga. Also, the Cape provinces, the south coast of the Western Cape is also under flooding alert right now, and as well as the Eastern Cape. But of which, of course, KwaZulu-Natal, I think, was the most hit by this weather system. And yeah, so we had an alert out for severe thunderstorms that is expected. And a tornado is part of a severe thunderstorm. So it usually develops when a severe thunderstorm is persistent, and it develops into what we call a supercell. And then out of this supercell, as it prolongs and the atmosphere becomes more and more unstable, then supercell thunderstorms is what will then produce a tornado, like we have seen happening in Hanover.
But this is a really extreme weather condition. Did we see it coming?
Well, you cannot predict a tornado per se. Like today, we are expecting an alert for tornado. Yeah. But the atmosphere do give you indications when it is unstable and that severe thunderstorms are possible. So a tornado is a byproduct of a severe thunderstorm. So the severe thunderstorms has been predicted and the alerts has been communicated. The South African Weather Service also had a media release out already sensitizing people of the weather that is expected in the next few days under the effect of this cutoff flow system.
And, looking at last week, we're already experiencing, weather patterns that are different, showing that there's an introduction of a new season of rains. Looking at the effects of this tornado and the damage that it wreaked throughout the province of KwaZulu-Natal, mostly, as you say, are we going to see more of this extreme weather happening throughout the week?
Well, that could take place. However, right now, the greatest threat that KwaZulu-Natal have is the risk of flooding due to prolonged rainfall that will be occurring from now up until Friday. So the system is only weakening and moving out by Saturday, you see. So what happens is that KwaZulu-Natal already received quite a lot of rain. So the soil moisture is saturated. And every rain that falls henceforth has the risk of causing flash flooding or runoff mudslides and landslides and something similar to this. So therefore, we're continually monitoring the system, and we have good rain, chances for rain. Starting as from today, I mean, it started a few days already. So today, it's still under widespread showers that is expected, as well as tomorrow and Friday. So the system is really expected to subside only from Saturday onwards.
Besides the extreme weather that's been noted in KwaZulu-Natal, how severe could it get in the other provinces?
For right now, KwaZulu-Natal is really our main focus, because this is where the core of the system is going to move across. But then again, on the onshore taking place on the south coast of the Western Cape and also on the coast on the western half of the Eastern Cape. There we are expecting still quite widespread showers that can continue, and then alert is also out for that area for possible flooding. However, that area is not under threat of severe thunderstorms.
Now, just focusing on KwaZulu-Natal, which you say is your main focus right now because of the extreme weather, just looking at KwaZulu-Natal within itself as a province, we know that a few months ago, KwaZulu-Natal experienced a severe flooding, and the conversation started moving towards climate change and the effects of climate change. Is it fair at this point in time to take tornado and mix it into the perhaps having it become a factor of climate change? Is that a fair correlation to make?
Not exactly. I wouldn't say it's a fair correlation to make, because this is a once-off event. And whenever we speak about climate, we speak about anything in excess of 30 years to even over 100 years. So when we study the climate, it is the change of the season or the trends in climate, like weather, over a prolonged period of time. So an isolated event cannot be ascribed to climate change per se. So, and I mean, even statistically, we know that only 30% of all severe thunderstorms has the potential of producing a tornado, you see. So it's not something that we can really say climate change is going to cause this to be widespread. That would not be a very wise statement to make, and I think it would be also very misleading for the public. However, I do understand that if people do not have a holistic view or a knowledge of meteorology, that it would be very easy to try and connect these dots. But yeah, we try to just keep things and manage things as and when it happens. Because the projection actually for climate change is that the southern half of Africa is actually going to become drier and hotter. And so these are the type of trends that we can expect to probably a change that is going to be taking place, you know, over 30 to 50 year period. So rain is not necessarily one event saying that it is climate change that is responsible for it.
You say the tornado is an isolated incident, yet we've had, I think, 2 in a space of a week. Is this something that should be a cause for concern?
It should be a cause of concern because there is a few factors that is at play here right now. You must understand that with urbanization, developments going all over, tornado is not a foreign thing to South Africa. You know, we've got the data and we've got the statistics to prove that. However, when development is more spread out, if a tornado was supposed to take place, say, over an open place, in a forest somewhere, or just farmland or whatever, chances of it being spotted is very minimal. We could have an idea by looking at our radar imagery and interpreting that there is a risk for a very severe storm and that there could be possibly some rotation within that storm. You understand?
Yes.
But if it hasn't affected people, it would really go unnoticed. But now as urbanization is taking place and more development is going out and people are moving into more open spaces, so there are going to be encounters with these things. And with social media, we will have real-time feedback on what is happening currently. So I think that will bring more visibility and more awareness of the occurrence of tornado within South Africa.
And in terms of ensuring that people are safe during such incidents,
the service is mandated to do is to give out alerts, and our alerts cover severe weather thunderstorms. So severe thunderstorm, like I say, tornado, heavy downpours that could lead to flash flooding that is just as dangerous. Sometimes a storm can even produce straight-lined winds that is not necessarily tornadic. So it becomes a tornado when the wind starts swirling, when there is a rotation taking place. But straight-line winds can be just as dangerous as a tornado because it is the speed of the wind that poses the danger. You understand? And then there is also the risk of large hail. You know, we have got incidences where large hail would bash roofs, it would go through windows, it would damage cars, it would damage property, crop, stock loss. So a whole lot of factors comes into severe thunderstorms. So what we can accurately or very closely predict is an atmosphere that can produce a severe thunderstorm. But like I say, it's only 30% of all severe thunderstorms that could lead to a tornado. So you cannot really accurately predict that a tornado is what is expected today. However, whenever an alert for severe thunderstorms go out, we would advise the public to take this very seriously and put the necessary precaution measures. Like it's really not advised to try and to be outside when any thunderstorm comes, because there's also the risk of lightning that comes with this thunderstorm. So people should try to stay indoors, try to be in very secure structures that can withstand such. And I mean, that is just like the basic things that you can do. Avoid trying to cross a bridge, even if you're driving a 4x4, where there is like low water bridges are flooded. Because you do not know the force of that water. It could swipe your car away, and usually that is what we end up seeing in the media, that somebody's car was swept away because they attempted to drive over flood waters and so on. So the risks are really broad when it comes to severe thunderstorms.
As a forecaster, what sort of myths would you like to dispel at this stage? I mean, I know there's always concern that there'll be misinformation going out to the public.
Well, right now, the South African Weather Service is trying to contain a hoax message that is doing the rounds. So there is this hoax message that is doing the rounds on social media platforms like WhatsApp and so on, telling people that the tornado that happened over Hanover, it's making its way down to Durban and people must be on the lookout for it. That is a hoax. That is really untrue. And it is sparking quite a whole lot of panic in people, because it will sound believable to the layman due to the rain that is continuously happening. So you'll be like, oh, wow, it is raining a lot right now. Is the tornado coming my way? So we really like to dispel that hoax and really to really appeal to the public not to do such, because when somebody takes a decision in panic, you're putting people's lives at risk for something that does not even exist. You know, so we must be responsible for what we do. So I would advise people to follow the South African Weather Service Twitter page, follow them on Facebook, follow the news updates and so on, because as and when things unfold, we're continually monitoring the system and we continually communicate. I know there's a lot of voices out there that has got a lot of things to say and that really does add to the panic out there. But the South African Weather Service is the authoritative voice when it comes to weather alerts.
Okay. So just one last confirmation. You're saying there's no need to panic with this tornado. We shouldn't be panicking and really looking for other options to try and curb such tornadoes from occurring.
You really cannot curb a tornado from occurring unless you would know how to control nature.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's much we can do about that. But when we give you the alerts and we do give you the lookout and we do make media releases available, please do pay attention, especially because we try to mention the areas that will be directly affected by such weather. So then you do have the caution in mind that today, you know what, should the clouds start forming, should there be lightning, should the wind just start increasing for some reason. These are the indications that thunderstorms is busy developing, and then just try to look for shelter somewhere and so on. But there's really nothing much that you can do from preventing the weather from occurring.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. That was Jacqueline Modika, forecaster at the SA Weather Service, saying there is no need to panic. Just keep your eyes on the weather forecaster on social media, as well as, of course, the updates on Newsroom Africa.